Alliance's turn to pick.
Like I kind of said, they were setting up a tri-lane. I think at this point you might just get like a Sven or a Wraith King, and you just set up this tri-lane like, with all these stuns. You have the Ogre, you have the Mirana.
Is Wraith King going to be the best though? It feels like they're going to be able to kite out the Wraith King.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? I do like the way TNC finishes
unless you get something
like
a Phantom Assassin, like you get the old classic, like just jump on top, you keep on Phantom striking forward, go from target to target if you can survive. And they go PL.
They end up picking the PL anyway. That almost makes me feel like they should have picked it fourth, because now that they picked the Centaur, you don't have any stuns. I think the Viper probably has to go maybe an early Atos, and that's not really the build you want to go nowadays. We'll see. I think that if TNC gets ahead in all of this game, you're going to see the classic, we have no stuns problem on Alliance. And that usually only matters when you don't have map control. But I will say that if PL kind of gets off to the starts he needs, I think like 2 or 3 items, they have really no way to kill this guy. Like all of their damage dealers are pretty much single target. Like Centaur can't reliably stun him because it's a, there's a cast animation on your stun. A bunch of these ranged squishy heroes for PL to just take out of the fight. Even if he's not killing them, his illusions are so much to deal with. And I do like the pick the whole way. And I still think I have to go with TNC's draft though, because you picked this hero last and it wasn't the perfect pick for the game.
Yep. This actually just feels to me like TNC's normal power spike. We saw it actually in their first series today, where you hit the 10-minute mark, it's like, okay, we're going to battle for the sides, and we're just going to go all out. And it feels like they're going to hit that sweet timing a lot earlier. And I'm interested to see like how Alliance will be ready themselves for it. Like, how long does it take for Lim to be ready? How long does it take for Synergy to come in with like Hanskin's Mirana and move around the lanes and actually make something happen?
I think we can do a lot of analysis on these drafts, but from what I've seen so far, the mid lane has a huge influence on how the game's going to go. And you can have all this theory crafting, like timings, all that stuff. If one hero in the mid lane just wins by a level or two, suddenly the game just...
If one hero accidentally levels up static field instead, and we're not looking at anyone.
We're not talking about it.
9. Anyone else saw that one on one of the other streams?
Yeah, sometimes you're a level 3 Zeus against a level 5 Puck, but we're not talking about anybody in particular for sure.
Oh, definitely not. We would never single out anybody in the game of Dota 2.
that was such a perfectly timed mosquito buzz.
Oh boy, man. Actually, I'm kind of happy because like the series we're casting today, it's like we're casting 2 and 4 today, and we got TNC back-to-backs for us, and like I just love watching this team play, especially Tim's. I want to like global presence, courier sniping, good luck to observing team. I think Wepus is the man who's on the camera today.
Yeah, TNC is definitely one of the funnest teams to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed their run at the major. I loved watching them up until the major. They were at ESL. Just a very unique playstyle, and watching teams like that going into new patches always makes it more interesting. Yep. They do have kind of the boring though Venge Drow strat. Everyone knows that's really good.
boring.
When I say boring, it's like, oh, here we go again. Up until this point,
This is like the El Clasico. Sorry, it's Alliance versus Na'Vi again. Boring.
Yeah. Oh, what I mean is, like, the first series of the day, if anyone noticed, all 6 games, either Venge or Drow was banned first round. Not always both. And it wasn't like, it didn't matter which one it was, but nobody gave away this combo. It's incredibly strong. And the main reason I think it's strong is not only is it the save for the Drow, but her marksmanship having that 400 range, giving her the extra bit of attack range makes it so she has now like 300 in range to attack you from that she's not within range of you. It almost doubles her like radius that she can attack you from, that she's not removing her agi, and it just buffs up her damage so much.
And I just actually think like the Frost Arrows in combination with multi-shot, like it's unbelievably good.
Yeah.
And I don't know how like Alliance are meant to also push high ground against this lineup of TNC. If they get ahead, like it's just gonna come through an unbelievably strong PL.
I think Alliance wins through like a 5-6 slotted PL. Like eventually, PL is the strongest hero in this game. None of the heroes on TNC can actually build to deal with the PL. The Drow Ags is pretty bad nowadays, just because it used to be like a farming mechanic for you, and it used to synergize more with your spells, but it doesn't have any synergy with your multi-shot. That was one kind of change about Drow I didn't like. It's like, why would you make an ability that her Ags now has no synergy with? On the other hand, you have OD, who his Ags are really good now, so it's kind of funny how that works.
And 33 copped a lot of damage, but he's able to get bottom rune, so it's 3 runes to 1 for the first run. I'm already seeing Mark trying to deal with him. Like, he's lost so much life. He's got boots, one more Tango charge available, but this is, yeah, 33, get the hell out of there.
I think he's just going to try to double it up. Maybe? What's his play here?
I don't know exactly what his play is. March at least has no stun, so he can't pull 33 back, like it's Wave of Terror only. But drops Doom to -3 armor, so that's why he leveled it up to begin with. But yeah, you'll...
But now Drow just gets to pull the next creep wave to the big camp. This is like the dream for a carry player. You're farming not only the regular wave, you're getting all the CS because nobody's there, and then you're also just getting bonus creeps.
This is exactly what we're talking about for a Drow Ranger, right? Like, you want to have a solo lane, you do not want to be contested in any kind of tri-lane, and this, yeah, a perfect day for you.
Yeah, we talked about Alliance tri-laning, and I thought they had aggro tri-laning to give this Doom, a decent start underneath his own tower, but instead they're just feeding free farm to this Drow. I'm not 100% confident in the way they chose to orient their lanes this game.
Yeah. And this just now allows Tims to do the harassment, and Tims has been doing this from the very start. From the bounty runes at the beginning, Fada and Hanskin are just the ones that Tims is trying to bring down.
The really cool thing about this Prophet pick that I didn't think about in the draft was there's an immediate response to Mirana, where if they have the Ogre stun and a Mirana arrow, you have a hero that can block the arrow with his summons. So that's really nice. Mid lane, he might just go down on Armel.
Oh God, welcome to Dota! Armel, yeah, he's dead.
I mean, Viper is so obnoxious. It's a hero where you're like half health, and he hits you once, and you go, I'm dead. And then you die like 10 seconds later, but you just know you're dead.
Yeah.
It's so depressing, actually, to play against. It's fun to play as, though.
You just can't get a good matchup against it. But like their trade-off is the fact that like Drow Ranger just gets all this space on bottom lane. 33 is trying to do something against it, but he's got a creep wave and a half going with him. March is trying to drag like one of the speed creeps down to pull the wave back up again. He's going to have a hard time to do it. And maybe this is that time, too, when you see Tims look to TP, but he's already looking towards the mid lane. I think he was hoping to find the courier and mess that up, but with the arrow connecting, Armel in a little bit of trouble. Limp is very low, and Hanskin forced to leap himself a little bit further away.
Well, he gets the ice armor creep on Doom. That's value against the lineup he's dealing with right now.
Man, with Blightstone as well as Wave of Terror, like they can just move in so much against Doom, even with the ice armor creep.
Yeah, he's still down to 4 armor despite having all that bonus armor. Yeah, the Drow Ranger free farm start is just scary to me. PL has to get a couple items before he can actually tank through this, but meanwhile,
KP. He'll be dead.
Taunts his way to death, but went out in style.
That's fine. There's always someone from TNC to take its place, so Tim's find his own levels up there in the top lane. Yeah, it's this level farming Drow Ranger.
Despite the death mid, Armel is winning in CS and seems like he's doing a good job bullying Limp, so maybe that passive is just enough to deal with the Viper. And he is a hero that can rotate to the jungle as level 5, 6-ish, which is really nice against Viper. Viper doesn't really threaten your tower or anything. You just don't want to have to lane against it. So being able to retreat to the jungle, unlike the puck we saw earlier, I think that's a nicer way to deal with it on the Lina.
It's just this level difference. Like it's like 3/4 of a level between Limp as well as Armel. And it's going to get even more with the creep wave coming in. Here we go again, once again for 33. And, well, March knows he can't take it. TP's back to base. Allowing 33 to just salve up and farm up the rest of this creep wave. 2 points up in Scorched Earth gives him all the damage he needs.
It does so much damage. 16 times 35. Toby, you got it? 16 times 35?
No.
So I just you know, testing the waters again. First time around.
Is it gonna be like something like 460 or something?
I think it's enough to kill the creep wave. It's a little over 500, I think.
All right.
That's a lot of damage. Either way, for a level 2 spell, that's pretty insane. And I think that's why more and more Dooms are just allowed. That's why you can first round this hero. If he's a hero that can just cut the wave like this, giving you multiple options, you can throw him alone like this. Basically, it's really easy this patch. I think as an offlaner, just gets shut down. Up in the bounty rune's top, there is an exchange. Does doppelganger down.
That's a really nice hold as well, while bottom lane March getting dived in. So you'll end up losing the VS inside the base, the Prophet up on top, and the Doom underneath the tier 3 tower on bottom lane too. But it was all for the 5-minute bounty runes. But Hanskin knew someone was going to try and TP out of this, so he just held the arrow. Didn't start it off on the rune battle. Prophet's actually TPing towards the mid lane, so hi Hanskin.
I don't know if he's pinging it, so I think they know he warded there.
Yeah.
That was Fada pinging it.
What?
It's just crazy that Viper can just be first picked like this in the games we've seen, and even if it hasn't won every game, it has won its lane every game.
But you were saying like the trade-off, right? Like the trade-off is there's a VS and a Drow Ranger. The Drow Ranger is about to hit 7, building in after double Wraith bands as well as Tread's going to have that long range.
Yeah, man,
maybe not the full pike,
so
but at least
scary.
you'll have the lance, and it's the slow. The 33 maybe doesn't care as much about. Like, it's 2 points up in the cold arrows, but it's 4 points in the multi-shot. Like, it's such great clearance for Gabby. And now they're going to go. So Centaur will die, but yep, they're going after 33. Stuns out, and here comes.
That's fine.
Your multi-shot. Simple enough.
That's with just double Wraith. He doesn't even have, like, the full treads yet.
Mid lane, arrow, leap forward. It's going to be a short time stun, but Armel, he'll try and get his own stun out, but you don't survive this. Him as a Viper, getting his early attacks in. Limp's just like, hey, you know, this hero, you let us have it. This was your choice.
Are fortified.
I don't know why you'd be willing to and want to play against Viper, man. Maybe this is the tournament where people, we talked about this a bit behind the stage, where people are going to try to beat what they're scared of, you know, instead of banning out the Viper, knowing it's an Alliance signature already in the first series. They want to figure out a way to beat it rather than just ban it out in a tournament like this, because the major's coming up right after.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Tested during the group stage. Fada, as well as Limp, forcing pressure in towards the mid. Tims, I think he's looking for his own battle. Drow Ranger's not ready just yet to come and join the fights. In fact, while she's still being left alone on the bottom, this is exactly what you want, but the TPs are coming in. Hans get another great arrow right on top of Tims. March and Armel together. Fada's deep underneath the tower. Will get hit by the magic missile and the Lion Strike Array, but Limp's already got himself a double kill, killing off March, but don't worry, there's more March where that came from. The illusion is up. Looking for his target, Limp. Low on life, Laguna Blade is available, but that's also a level 7 Viper who's back underneath his own tier 1 tower.
Should Drought give this arcane ring?
Should Armel stay this far up? Hanskin's waiting for him. The leap forward, it's just going to be Ogre stun into arrow, only a 2-second stun, but Armel, nice to move back by Limp.
He knew him to walk back there.
What?
I just expected him to walk back there.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, is he out of position? I'm like, what? I will zoom back to mid lane. Yeah. I was saying that if the Drow was going to give the arcane ring to the Lina, I think he needs it. The armor.
I think it was the plan. Like, he moved towards the mid lane for it.
Yeah, certain neutral items are just so good on some of the heroes.
So the first rotation from Gabby to just waste, it was a creep wave, a full creep wave on the bottom lane for him. So not exactly what they want have happened. They're going to go again on Tim's. Limp coming in from the side. All you need is a Fire Blast and then they can go, or maybe they focus over on Centaur. KP does have Stampede available, but that's why they're still waiting this one out. Is he going to trigger it? No. Holds the stick charges, holds the Stampede, loses his courier as well.
Drow is not a space creator. That's the problem I think I have with TNC start here. Yeah,
He can arrow for vision, got one attack here, but you got to leap and attack. He's going to put himself
now
on
he
the
has
hill.
no leaps. Okay, he's going to TP away. TP to mid lane. I've tried that on Slark before, where you just pounce over the cliff. You're like, ugh. Wait 8 seconds, try again. But the Drow's not a space creator, right? So even though she's having a really good start, if you look at the net worths, the Lina and the Centaur, they're struggling, man. And like I said, the Drow is not going to help them come back. Drow's a little bit better in the mid game nowadays, but if all the weight's on Drow's shoulders and they just manage to doom her and kill her once, I think the game really opens up for Alliance.
You know, this item feels like a contradiction being put on Lina. Like, if we're really going to start adding in, like, Ocean Heart on a fire hero, like, it's
the lore, man.
Yeah, like, just elementally, it doesn't make any sense to me. Because you get the water regeneration on a fire-based hero.
Yeah, wouldn't it, like, put out the flames and make her regen less?
Exactly.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Sense, please.
10-minute outposts.
Yep, KP's gonna have his own little fun. Tims wants to try and help out, try and kill off Fada, who begins his own TP, and will be successful. The bottom lane that goes to Alliance.
Yep, even trade.
I'm wondering how much 2 TNC try and hold this bottom tower, because the arrows are flying forward. This one won't be able to connect from Hanskin. This has the movement speed and Doom underneath. Wants to keep on much. Juke as much as you possibly can, man. Nope, hit by 1 Viper strike, and he is going to go down.
Doom is one of the scariest heroes to have, where he just turns on his scorch. Meanwhile, but PL, unlike the support, much more survivable. These slow down the push, even though they do get the top.
He's coming back into the bottom lane. He's good at do some stampede to safety.
Radiant's bottom tower
Roll out the money shot, try and push back the bottom lane. A lot of damage into the Doombringer. But with Viper holding hand, not going to be able to find the kill.
A big highlight here is that both supports are managing the 5 positions, managing to get level 6. At least coming up. The tome removal only down to 1 now. Pretty big change coming out from the later patches, the sub patches.
Oh, the jelly. The jelly's here.
So he's automatically claimed his jelly tax. The guy who finds it gets it.
Yep.
And then he gave it to Lina. Okay.
Didn't give it to anybody. It belongs to KP.
As Cap said, he said it is the rule of the jelly. If you find it, you get 1 cut. You get 1 charge.
Well, this is if the live striker PL. Doppelganger available. He could have actually started with that. 1 second he'll come off. Let's say it's gonna be off target.
Good there by Nico. Just throw it out.
Look at him quickly salving up, so he can run straight back into the fight. There's no stampede available, so Phantom rush forward, stay on the back of Armel. Limbs coming in closer too, will slow down KP. Support is nearby in Tims, and they're TPing in the Drought Ranger over towards the outpost, but KP's already dead. Drought Ranger has completed his TP, but with the Moonlight Shadow, Smarter stunned up under the Sentry Ward, and now your multi-shot goes to work. 1 trade-off, and Fada actually currently worth more than KP.
One highlight I want to give is that the Mirana is able to farm the bottom lane freely like this, and I think this is the advantage of Radiant we were talking about, or Dire, excuse me. Once they take this Radiant tier 1 tower, it's almost impossible for Radiant to get back to their own jungle now that the Shrine's gone. And Mirana being able to get this Eul Scepter, remove the silence from Drow, adds a stun during the Centaur Stampede to like make it so they can't run away. I think this is a big item. These early support items this patch, because of all the ways that they've made it easier or cheaper to support, are pretty impactful. And this is something where usually if you're winning the game, you can see it in a 4 position just farming like this. And it's really nice. To have that net worth kind of just go into a hero that isn't taking anything away from his cores.
Hanskin's waiting for his own fight in the bottom lane. Doom's not really there for it. Instead, they're going to TP in towards the mid lane as March in a lot of trouble. 3 heroes together from Alliance defending that tier 1 tower mid. Drought Ranger was looking to add some pressure.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Up bottom.
Yeah,
they're getting ran at.
And Tim's attacked the tier 1 tower, but with the TP forward from Nico. 33 just cuts his way through the Quelling Blade, a nice quick Infernal Blade, so Tims won't have all the movement speed in the world. Leap forward from Hanskin, combining the Starfall together with the rest of Alliance's attack.
I love watching players like 33, man. Instead of using his Infernal Blade immediately, he starts with the body block, which forces out the Stampede, and then immediately Infernal Blade's on the Stampede to keep him from running as far as possible.
Oh,
really well played.
Armel, no man to TP. Went underneath the Dire Observer Ward. He's pinging it out. That's how he knew.
That's an expensive ward to find out about, though.
Yeah.
To lose your mid solo to the other mid. I've had support Vipers in my games that are like solo killing the enemy mid at 15 minutes, and I'm like, this is not okay. You know, the heroes and kit innately just does so much damage in the mid game, early game especially. Because he used to have like a lot of percentage-based spells, and now they're all just flat damage. So in the early game, it just seems a little bit too much. Potentially broken.
No, March. Looks for the swap, gets it on the arrow. He wants to try and fight this one. He's got that multi-shot available. It's a lot of damage, but not enough. Hanskin under 200 HP gets back, and they're looking for another arrow. It's still on cooldown for the moment after Father stun. They really want to hold this tier 1 tower in mid alliance, showing priority to it.
I think the big thing about Dire that gives it a significant advantage, not only what we talked about bottom, but the fact that the Shrine's still in your primary jungle. You're seeing that a lot of teams are just putting one of their cores at all times in this like really safe area inside their own jungle. It's just super protected. They're protecting it with wards. It's just very natural to farm that area on the Dire side. They are going to de-ward one of the wards that we saw get the Melina killed earlier.
But that ward had like maybe 5 seconds left on his life.
Hey, you got the gold for it, you know.
You know, but you lose your sentry straight after.
Look at these teams not even care about the bounty runs. Now that outposts aren't every 5 minutes, the bottom lane just getting ignored, the top lane's getting shown up too late by the support Prophet. I was very curious to see how that change plays out. You know, do teams just not care?
Looking for his target over on Fada, combining instantly into the multi-shot. But it'll still be Armel and Limp both finding a kill each.
That's an expensive trade. The Venge is pretty important.
They really just want to try and force into the tower. That's all this really is. They keep trying to make the space to do it, but Alliance always have at least 2 to 3 heroes defending that tower. While Nico Baby feels very safe by himself on the bottom lane. Like, Meta style plus Doppelganger, you can't lock him down.
There's no momentum going for TNC. I said in the draft, after everything's said and done, the mid lane momentum's a huge part of how this game is going to go, and we're seeing the Viper just have so much more impact on this game. Lina just feels like a non-factor so far, and the PL, as a result, is just absolutely free farming. Already up to the Manta, which means he's really hard to bring down, and then the Diffusal Blade's going to allow him to participate in fights. In a game where you're not pressured, it's really nice to go as luxury farming item that just makes you harder to kill, and then eventually that's going to accelerate your farm into the Diffusal. So he's thinking, I don't really want to fight yet, and I can go Manta Diffusal, which will be faster than if I go Diffusal Manta.
I swear, Dro, like, Gabby is getting none of the items he wants. They're starting the initiation on mid, but 33 is ready for it. Coming forward, he's got Doom available. Arrow flies forward, won't hit anyone. That actually spreads the 4 heroes of TNC with the Wrath of Nature. Everything kicking in, but PL joins the fight. Stampede, they looking to disengage, but TNC, they're the ones who start this fight. Now the Doom is down over on KP under the tier 1 tower. Slowed up, trying to retreat. Once again with the multi-shot, but it's not doing enough damage. Alliance, they're diving to the tier 2 tower almost. KP will end up falling down. The Doom tick from 33 finds that kill. And Alliance time and time again have showed they're willing to defend this tower, and then they just went, all right, 5-on-5 fight, let's do this. You burnt everything you got, TNC. Nothing left of the tank.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They just, the Centaur, the rough start on the Centaur makes him not able to be the frontliner that this 4-ranged lineup needs on TNC. They're just getting ran at, and that's the power of the Doom hero, is you're forced to just be on the retreat the entire time, and heroes like Drow just can't dump out the damage that they need to, spending the entire time running. And Tim's is doing a little cutesy stuff in the bottom lane. We do see the replay here, and you're just going to watch the Doom runs in. Like, that's just his job. Like, is he really doing much? It doesn't look like he is, but the thing is that just by forcing so much attention on himself, look at all the damage that Radiant is taking during this time. Gets Julesed up by the Mirana, really good item pickup we talked about, and then just doomed, and now they're spending the entire time running, and you can't do any damage.
It's like it's also the perfect item drops for Alliance. Like, you get a Dragon Scale over on a Doombringer, so yeah, you run in with this. Meanwhile, Dro Ranger, all the drops that have come, she had to give to everyone else. The Dragon Scales over on the Centaur. 2 items on the Lina, the Ocean Heart as well as the Nether Shore. Like, they didn't want any of this. They wanted to find some damage, and finally they've got it. I had to say it just so the RNG would swing back the other way. You got the groove on for the Dro Ranger. And my God, she needed something like this.
Yeah, it's funny that both teams don't really have any carry items yet. The PL doesn't have any of the jungle items on his hero.
I'm actually going to give the groove bro over to the Lina.
Makes sense too, right? Because it does do the magic resistance debuff, 12%.
Maybe nice to give something else, like the Ocean Heart to March or something. He's just got both of them backpacked for the moment. Yeah, in fact, that's exactly what happens. March gets both of the items.
Yeah, they originally had the Nether Shawl on the...
This is so quick.
Yeah, that was so fast.
And with this, like, Dro will just go back up, farm up a couple of the neutral camps, then as they spawn in 5 seconds time, and get his Manta style.
I'm surprised that PL took the evasion talent. They do have a decent amount of right click on the side of TNC, but at the same time, a lot of the damage does come from the Lina nukes as well as the Drow multi-shot, yeah, so that can't be evaded. We're kind of curious about that pickup. It is very powerful in terms of the level 10 talent. A lot of heroes don't get 20% evasion until much later in the game.
I love how we both have been moving from multi-shot to volley. It's like the way to describe it, because like it seems to make more sense to call it a volley when she's Nacha.
I agree. You really keep the lore intact. I like that. You know, the storyline behind the abilities.
But you've already got, like, actually, well, how many volleys are there in Dota? Like, you got the tree volley from Tiny.
Okay.
But I think there's another volley as well, right?
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, Snapfire's ult's kind of a volley.
Snapfire's ult is a piece of
How do you really feel is the question there?
It's, yeah. I hold back what I really feel when I think of Snapfire. I mean, hero can burn it his own ulti.
Okay, so the 20-minute outposts do come out. Both teams get their own. The bounty runes look like they're split. This is what I kind of feared when they changed the shrines and the way they worked, is that it would just be easier for one team to kind of just control half the map, and it's going to naturally result in Dire going bottom and Radiant going top. So it felt like beforehand in the patch, if you were behind it all, it was impossible to get either of the outposts. You just kept losing the outposts, and then the snowball advantage was much more. So as I'm seeing so far this tournament with the new patches, the 7.23E, the snowball effect doesn't seem as bad, but the map control aspect, you're not losing to outposts at least, but they are still slowly but surely gaining an advantage on Alliance with the lead they do have.
I'm wondering about this with Alliance with like a heart style build. Over on Nico, you're seeing Gabby prepare for us. Like, we're going to completely high ground defend, Maelstrom into the Aghanim Scepter. Like, it's just how Dro just loves to build anyway. We're combining all that split shot with the multi-shot, and like everything having like procs as well from the Maelstrom.
I just think that the new Axe is like, it's just so desynergistic with your build that like the matchup used to be okay for Drow. Oh, the bottom lane.
Yep, you'll Scepter into Arrow,
Wait,
but
what?
perfect move. That was behind him, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he would have normally landed on it, but since the tree was there, like it ate the arrow before. That was weird.
Yeah, can we just see that in slow motion again? We've got time. Like, everyone's going to go back to farming, so we've got the time to see the motion.
Oh, we could watch some creeps die.
Oh, yes! It's not an Alchemist game.
Wait, can you multicast? You can't multicast shovel, right?
You should not be able to.
I hope you could. That'd be cool.
That's not cool. That's imbalanced. Here we go. So we can watch this in slow motion now. So he brings the tree up from behind himself. Coming in, Arrow.
I think he would have landed on that. I think he would have landed on that.
Yeah, it looked like he would have, but the tree was just close enough that it actually took the arrow hit before the fall was completed.
You'd say, like, you know, Bible Thump, like, you know, best tree support or whatever, but that was him as an owner killing his tree. So that's almost, you know, animal abuse or whatever you want to call it.
It's, I'm not going to use that analogy.
It's first day, man. You know.
Let's, first day, let's ease into the humor. I'll wait at least 2 days before I get fired.
The Marauder is so far in this game, man. She's actually now ahead of the Centaur. That's a really bad sign for the TNC squad here.
Yeah, especially when it's KP on the Centaur. Like, I was talking to you about this before we started the game. Like, I always love how when KP actually has an influence, like he jumps in with a Centaur and he's able to find heads. He's able to do more. Like, you see the way he's building. It's like, I need to get an Aghanim Scepter. I just need a way to ensure my team disengages. That's a nice long arrow, but it won't matter when 3 heroes from TNC come over to claim this outpost.
Yeah,
So
he's just being a nuisance.
it's kind of like one of the rare things that you'll get to see is a Radiant team 23 minutes in actually claiming that bottom lane outpost, and then they get the gust over on Mirana, so silenced up, they need an extra stun, March will be there, swaps him back in, able to connect, and then they chain stun out. And this is when you really feel the presence. KP feels strong, he can be the front liner, March just got to sit behind Gabby, and they make the most of this power spike like TNC wanted to. They did kind of want to do this like 5-7 minutes ago, but they'll do it now. Both bottom lane towers taken out of Alliance.
It's a really good use of the first Aegis. I think that when they were behind, that Aegis was kind of just meant to buy time for them to get the items like the Ag Scepter and Maelstrom they needed, as you said. But
he's already finished Ags 2, 24 minutes in.
That's big. My only complaint is it doesn't one-shot creeps anymore with your ult. So it used to be really good with the Ag because your splinter shots would also one-shot the creeps if it procced. But now, I guess you kind of just have your multi-shot to farm anyway, so they're just saying that our only way to deal with PL as the game goes on is this multi-shot. Or is the Ag Scepter.
Doesn't the multi-shot as well proc on the Ags? Because they all count as individual attacks?
I know that Maelstrom and stuff does not proc.
Yeah, you don't get orbs. You don't get orbs on the attacks, but they all count as individual attacks, which means you should actually then have the Aghanim's proc on these individual attacks.
I genuinely don't know. I'm not going to act like I know, unlike some other people, you know?
Hey, this is one of those things that I think I remember having a debate, and I can't remember the answer that I found. All I remember is like there was no orb procs.
Yeah, I know that the Deso and...
But does the Ags actually count as an orb?
Yeah. You know, Dota, pretty consistent mechanics all around, so I'm sure it's predictable.
Where's the old composite damage? You can bring that one back.
Yeah.
I always remember trying to explain, like, so Martian Machines does damage to who in what scenarios?
Yeah, you know, you just gotta know whether or not each ability does damage to BKB, to Ancients, to regular creeps, you know, you just gotta know. That's all it is.
A tier 3 item the Drone Ranger definitely does not want to have.
Oh, the repair kit.
The repair kit.
That might come into handy later, though, for the team, but yeah, the repair kit, not the item as a carry that you're dreaming of at the 25-minute mark. Spider Legs, on the other hand, go to Armel. That's a nice item. I wonder who that's going to go to. They do give that to Gabby. That's actually a huge item for Gabby. Because now during the Centaur Stampede, he basically has the Centaur Ags. And it allows him to maneuver much better in these fights. He can even position near cliffs so that he's not nearly as vulnerable to getting ran at by the Alliance squad.
Yeah, maybe time to drop that Ring of Basilius and put the Javelin in with the Maelstrom. Yeah. He's got a couple of items to sell and get back on the field. The tier 2 tower will be taken out by Alliance, but we're ready for a top lane fight. Nico TP's over towards his shrine. They charge forward. They got the Eagle Scepter. They got the one they wanted. March's TP also cancelled. So with the Stampede, Gabby tries to move forward. He needs to outrun this. He does not have a TP scroll into the spiders, moving over the tree lines, but you can just keep with him. You can have your own split fight at the moment. So Gabby will finally end up getting brought down while 33 battling against everybody else. And March, finally he will also fall. The 2 TP cancels allow Limp to get beyond godlike. He is 11-0-5 on the Viper.
It was good that they were able to later pick this Viper in the draft and give it an ideal pick, you know? It had no chance to counter it whatsoever on the TNC side.
All right, come on, Armel. Go for some level of play. I think he's really worried about who was behind him. They still don't have that Ags over on the Centaur, so now your Scepter up. Light Striker Ray follow-up into Fada. It's a lot of early damage. The Ghost Scepter actually amplifying it, but meaning there's no physical attack to follow through.
I really like that Ghost Scepter pickup on the Ogre. When you're playing against these Drow lineups, you honestly just die to the Drow multi-shot. You kind of just die to that full to zero on almost every support. And the Ghost Scepter is the best way to itemize against it.
Actually got a Mindbreaker on Lina.
That's nice. The magic damage is really nice on a lot of these heroes that attack really fast. Silence, not as much. You already have a stun.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The silence got nerfed really hard, but I think the 2-second silence can still be pretty game-breaking against some heroes, like the Ember Spirits of the world, but they don't really have like these elusive spellcasters on Alliance.
You catch Doom with his BKB off or something like that. But you got BKBs on Doom as well as Viper. Like, they really don't care. And Phantom Lancer can break free. So yeah, it's not as great against the 3 cores of Alliance.
He is going for the Abyssal Blade on PL, an item that you never really used to pick up, but is super good now, obviously with the 600 cast range blink that it gives you for free. Just helps you close the gap even better, and you can reliably lock onto targets.
I love how the repair kit looks like they just put up some scaffolding on top of a tower.
It does look really cool.
Yeah, it just looks like we've got like the building mods coming in just a bit, everyone. So new barracks under construction.
Yeah.
You can, maybe that's the next part of Dota 2. Like, you can rebuild your barracks for a specific cost.
I like where your head's at.
Yeah. Hey, we're totally changing the game of Dota anyway, so let's actually consider.
Top tower
let's go all out. The way that Hanskin's allowed to play this game is so cool. He's kind of playing like a 1 in terms of his team's playing together as 4 and he's defending lanes. But the Prophet doing a good job of applying pressure on the top tier 3. Does take it down to about half health.
And this is where maybe we have to start to wonder too, like how Alliance are able to finish this game. Like your 28-minute and kill count's definitely your way, but you've still got a 7,000 gold advantage. Nature's Prophet will continuously split push out your side lanes. It's great at clearance. Dro Ranger's great at clearance, especially now she's got the Aghanims as well as the Maelstroms. You're going to finish the Hurricane Pike, so at least there's some better maneuverability for Gabby coming into these next engagements on top of the fact you've got the spider legs. So all of these things starting to look nice for TNC, and I'm wondering if Alliance just had the brute strength to run forward. Like, you get this kill, it's a support. It's a support VS. Like, that's great, but you've got Lina, who's already forced out the bottom lane, continuously farming up, and Prophet ready to jump out once again, do his thing. So they grab Roshan. This is one way to ensure it.
I really like how Hanskin's playing. I think the fact that he's recognized as a support player, that it's his job to play alone this game and enable his team, because like you said, if he's not doing what he's doing, his team's gonna have to respond to the split push from the Lina and the Prophet, and it actually allows them to make those ganks and then turn it into an objective.
Illusions from Dro a little bit too far out. Roshan's already been taken. Tims actually snatches it. Tims got the Aegis Immortal. He just went straight in the middle of the pit, grabs the Aegis. He'll end up triggering up. BKB from Armel wants to retreat. You'll set her up from the Phantom Lancer. They're just trying to get away. Tims will go down. The Lotus Orb returning stun, not helping enough, and the Doom on Armel. He cannot retreat either. Is this deal really worthwhile? It will probably stop Alliance from pushing high ground, so maybe they just delay the game this way, but it's the sacrifice of Lina with no buyback. Is this worth it? She's got buyback in 10 gold, so she'll have it to defend. It's just expensive.
I don't know if you can afford to buy back on Lina this game. I think you need that armor item. You're only sitting at 14 armor. The only way you really have armor is if you're near Drow, and that's not reliable. The BKB is going to be pretty irrelevant once the PL gets his Abyssal Blade, which he has in 70 gold. I think you need that armor, man. I don't think you can afford to buy back. And if he does, that's just a rough one. You're not feeling good at all.
When I get to watch that Roshan
Does he
again.
just TP in?
Yeah, he just TP'd himself in. He got broken instantly, but he grabbed the Aegis Immortal, and Hanskin's arrow connected right after the fact that he grabbed it. It was only a split-second difference. And we can come back live in just a second. Alliance, they are pushing inside the base, looking for their target. But remember, the Aghanims plus the Lightning, the Tesla Ranger is on board, so Nico, he can back up and he heal up. He's got 3.7k HP. Plus 30 armor on this Phantom Lancer. It's difficult to get through, but the repair kit's back to work once more. One more charge of this available. So it's split shot defense available too when this repair kit is up. And what does Prophet do? To the side lanes, push it out. Bring back the Wrath of Nature, push out all the other side lanes. So they didn't have to. They didn't have to buy back on the Lina.
This only works for so long, though, this whole split push game. They are slowly but
Moonlight
surely.
Shadow. 33 is going to find Tims. Yeah, taunt all you want, Tims. You're really going to regret that. No stun, control. It's all there from Tims. Sprout, TP. No bullshit. He's actually going to get away.
It's like the perfect spacing between the regular tree and the sprout tree that he cuts it down, but it can't actually get in. That's funny.
Oh, well, this could work a little bit longer when that continues. All right, what did Limp end up fighting? All right, we'll watch it again. So Tims, it's like, just back up, back up. What do you want to cut through? What can you see? Oh, nothing.
He can't even see through that. That's like, you figured he'd at least be able to see through, even if he can't walk. Man, vision in Dota is really weird sometimes.
That's what makes it a fun game. So Viper's finished up an Assault Cuirass. Combine this with his Orb of Destruction and everything else he's got. Viper's looking nice and strong, but the real test is just like if they can continuously push up. Even while Lina is down, they couldn't force their way into the base. The tower is fully regen back up, and you've still got one more repair kit ready for March to be used. So Prophet is pushing up the top lane with Armel. He's even farming up the jungle, and I'm loving this. Like, this is almost like reminiscent of like it's the SEA kind of style of Ice Ice Ice, where he used to play this like he had like Zerglings going across the map. That arrow is a little bit off timing. Armel now will finish his TP. That spells the death of Tims. There's no escaping from this one. He's going to sprout again. Oh, yeah, okay. Infernal Blade. TP begins again. He doesn't actually have enough time or life. But this is a lot of heroes from Alliance being pushed up towards the top lane.
They're always leaving one hero on the bottom, though. They've been rotating. It's been Hanskin. It's been Fada. This time around, it's Limp. They're just making sure that they're slowly but surely just grinding them down with these kills that give them the map control that they need on Alliance to eventually be able to push high ground. And I like that they're kind of doing this methodical approach of, we know we can't just walk high ground because that split push threat is too significant with the Prophet and all these ranged heroes. But now that you see this 10k advantage, I think they're going to need about a 15 to 20k advantage to eventually go high ground. Maybe the next Aegis maybe is their timing. They're doing a really good job of wearing TNC down slowly but surely. If you get impatient, they might just win one fight on the side of TNC and then take 1 or 2 lanes of Rags because they have so much physical damage. Orb of Destruction on Viper, man. That item is so good. They did nerf it, but it's still pretty dang good.
Sorry, once he gets Butterfly up too, and then he continuously gets the buff from Ogre. It's going to be one very flappy.
I like the AC first, because you need the plus armor against Drow, and also her ult pierces evasion. So, Butterfly is a fine item for damage, but you wanted that defensive item first.
Feels like against all the negative armor that TNC are running, yeah, you definitely needed it. I think PL's trying to do something about Tim's. I think he's sprouting for a little of extra safety vision. But Nico definitely wants this much, wants to have his own little bit of a battle. The Doom is out. Armel, he's going to have the extra movement speed to get to the tier 2 tower, but that will not save his life. Well, the battle on bottom, okay, it's just a movement, and then just the chaining of outpost control.
Yeah, Fada got it before the 35-minute mark, and that's all that really matters. Oh, wait, no, it's not. For whatever reason, I was thinking you got the outpost before the 35-minute mark. Maybe they're thinking the same thing, because there's 2 teams, like, battling for outposts at 35 minutes. Maybe this is just a, you know, muscle memory reaction for them. I got caught there, too. I was wondering, I'm like, why are so many people at these outposts?
Everyone wants it. Everyone wants the bounties. There's still one that wasn't claimed in the top river. That's because Alliance is too heavily focused on pushing in the top. It took 35 minutes for KP to finally have this Blink Dagger.
Yeah, the bounties are like so inconveniently placed now. You have to go out of your way to get them. You know, in the last patch, if you got one, you kind of just got the other one. Now,
PL's come up. Gabby ready for the defense. There's 3 seconds till multi-shots available. That's a pretty deep dive in. Centaur stunned, swapped out to safety, and Lotus Orb trying to protect him as well. Where is this split shot? Trying to do its own damage for Nico. They get on top of the Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger's down. She'll have to buy back if they're going to defend this top lane of Rax. Not to mention much. The PL Illusions have just done so much work. Drow is still not committing this buyback. You've got the multi-shotting tower doing its own defense, but now finally the buyback will arrive. An Alliance, they've taken the tower. They want the melee Rax too. A quick movement back from Nico. Slowed up. Lina looking for his target. The Sprout keeping Nico away from the Rax. There's another jump forward. Doombringer, he's right on top of KP. Gabby doing everything he possibly can, but his damage feels really, well, inadequate, to say the least. The top lane of Rax will be taken. March will swap Limp back over. He gets it done, but it's very, very late. Now Fada, a blink forward. He gets it done. They want to get this dive back over on the Drow Ranger. If Drow goes down, this may be Alliance going to force his way through. In fact, it's exactly what they can do. 2 minutes almost on the sideline for the Drow Ranger. Tim's is going to fall down to. I think this is going to be the game. GG is called. Alliance. Patience was a virtue, BSJ. You said they needed, and that's exactly what they had.
Yeah, that's the peel factor against the Drow. You eventually just can't be dealt with. And I think the Doom, I even liked what Fada did there at the end. If you saw the way he enabled that high ground push, he just blinked in and then Ghost Sceptered, and just, they did a really good job of like drawing attention from the TNC heroes. And then eventually they just got overran by just a pure amount of gap close and damage from Alliance, and that's just what happens when you're up by 15, 20k gold at the end there.
Yeah, but I was really thinking like TNC.
Alliances turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Warm up, but this is the exact level of competition for the most part that you're going to be getting at the major. So, really good way to practice the strengths of your heroes. A lot of times with the new patch, you kind of think, I think this hero's good, or I think this will work, and then you just have to really see how it plays out.
Yeah. You know, something I'd like to see here from TNC is, well, okay, there's the first one.
Yeah, Doom's a good hero.
So actually taking care of KP from the very, very beginning, because they didn't do that in the last game. And it was the drafting where it's like, okay, like he got banned out pretty heavily. It's like the Venomancer gets taken out, all right, but you just get the Doom. It's what KP knows. He can play that Sun Initiator. It's not the one who just dies instantly, and he can have a lane recovery too. But I want to see Tim's having more of an influence. I felt like March during the first game and the first series was more of an influence than Tim's, and Tim's is normally that big rotator, the big stunner that has an influence on the lanes.
So they going Avenge, Drown, Respond? No, they're okay. Brew. So they like Brew against Doom. That matchup goes both ways, because if you get the Doom off, then Brew. Like, that's one of the few lockdowns that can make you not split.
Alliance also ran this combination earlier today, and they ran dual offlane with the Avenge and the Brewmaster to get together at the beginning.
I saw the game, but I did not see how the lane played out. I think I saw him putting points in his W on the Brewmaster,
We're trying to watch 3 series at the same time. All I remember is they started in the same lane.
Yes.
Outside of that, I don't know.
Yeah, expanding upon that, not much we can do there. But I will say that the Brewmaster did seem pretty strong in that game. It's just it's the ultimate go-in hero. Like, it is really the ultimate hero, and against Doom specifically, it's really nice to have one of those, because a lot of times it's super awkward as a core to be willing to commit to the fight, because you know if you go in, you're getting doomed. And now that you have a hero that you can say, hey, as a team, we know we're sending this hero in first, it does make team fights overall easier to play.
TNC picking up 2 cores at the beginning. That's assuming that this Puck or Doom is core, but you ban out the Templar or Assassin, and that just leans towards that Puck being a 2 position.
Yeah, the biggest problem with Doom, as we said, is you doom them and they walk away. That's just the whole lack of Doom's kit, is the ability to actually chase you down once you
Can you make
doom.
him a 4?
We saw Alliance did do it. They did 3-position Chen with 4-position Doom, so it is possible. I think he's almost too good of a 3 that you'd rather put him as a 3, but maybe if
Especially
it's a game-winning pick
like
in the
it's
3.
KP's comfort as well, so that makes more sense.
I think it's definitely a niche pick that certain teams may prioritize with the 4-position Doom. I think it's more so if you have this perfect 3-position hero that you think will win you the game, you can be like, oh, okay, we'll just make the Doom a 4, whatever. I think the hero's just so good right now. Doom it fits the category of Dota heroes that is either super broken or so completely useless in a patch. It kind of seems like his overall kit's just super powerful, and either his numbers are good enough or not. And since they buffed Scorcher, pretty much out of control, where it does the whole 16 seconds at every level.
Yeah, it was level 2 Scorched Earth and the double creep wave that got farmed up.
Yeah, he killed an entire creep wave with level 2 Scorched. And you could tell that he had that plan going the whole way, because he was cutting creeps for a very long time, and the minute he got level 3, so level 2 Scorched Earth, he just racked up the double creep wave, and as an offlaner having a rough game, and then suddenly you just get 12 CS. That's a pretty big deal.
It was the same hero that was trying to stop him, was the Vengeful Spirit that was trying to stop him with a wave of terror level 1. It's like, no, Doom doesn't care.
I was nervous about them giving Drow such free farm, but the fact that they were able to shut down Centaur so much, and those are the enablers, I think Alliance did a really good job last game of prioritizing which heroes to give the good start to on TNC.
Yeah, it took like 20 minutes before the Drow was happy to start pushing down towers, like fighting together, and then it's like, oh, here's TNC's opening, here's TNC getting stronger, and like it all felt like it was good, but Alliance's pickoff, Alliance's initiations were just so damn good. And now we get like so much initiation from Alliance. Brew, Tusk, VS, like every single enabler.
I like Tusk a ton against Doom, because Doom's really low armor, and the tag team is just so much to bring him down in the mid game. A lot of times Doom is not really scared to walk around in fights in the like 5 to 15 minute mark. He's just tanky enough, and he has the regen from Devour. But Tusk, one of the few supports in the game that represents enough damage with him plus anybody pretty much to kill the Doom.
It messes up the laning phase really heavily too, because that's something that TNC like to rely on with KP. It's like, okay, KP, just like you take the safe lane, and we'll run an aggro, or we'll run something else in the off lane, but you just soak up everything you possibly can as a Doombringer, and there's like, oh, this doesn't work anymore. Not when the Tusk's there, and if you try and run him on the off lane, he's just gonna get wrapped on every time. And then you got to commit support to keep the Doombringer up.
Yeah, the Tusk doesn't kill the Puck, but he does offer a way for his cores out of the coil. He can, if he buys a Blink Dagger later on, or if he just walks up, depending. As long as he's not coiled, so he can't snowball, he can snowball his core and take them out of the coil. They're invulnerable during the snowball, so it's kind of a pseudo counter in that way to the Puck and the Doom. It's a save that counters both of their lockdown spells so far, which I really like, having a way in your draft that just immediately addresses what the other team has already picked. Really prioritizing making their team fights easier to play so far. The Brewer against the Doom, the Tusk against the Doom Puck. I think just overall Alliance is setting up to give their absolute last pick a really good game, and that's kind of what they've flourished on this whole season so far. Setting up Nico Baby to carry them. I think they'll probably pick their Limp Hero 4th based on the way they play.
I wonder who do we get from Limp?
Yeah,
no,
Viper's
with
out
no
there.
Viper?
No
like,
Tiny.
Oh, what do I do? Keeper of the Light from TNC. Lower those cooldowns, and do we actually get to see things like sustain, like bristlebacks that normally get comboed with the coddle? Something to battle against Alliance.
I was wondering if they might be willing to pick like a Lifestealer here, but no, they go for the SF. Okay, interesting.
The other hero, which we've been talking about as the strong midder.
Yeah, it goes well with the Vengeful Spirit. It is a save as well as the damage amp. The Tusk Shards represents a nice like setup for this SF. In the mid game, like these like early roaming ganks. Do you go like we saw the Blink Yule's SF from 9 earlier that beat TNC, so I'm curious to see how Limp builds it. If he goes for the more the stand your ground right click build or the mobility around the map build.
We still wait for the phase boots Abyssal, right?
Yeah, the Abyssal and then walk on top of them, and it does have a long enough stun to set up your ultimate for the full damage.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking about that in the bus ride over yesterday. It was just like, wait, how's the timing? You're like, oh, it works.
It does work.
Works.
It's long enough. I don't think it's good, but maybe like 5th item, it might be good enough. The people seem to be prioritizing still. I mean, the Yule Scepter is just so nice because it gives you the mana regen too, so it lets you farm and spam camps.
That's the Crystal Maiden.
I don't know how much I like that. They just have so much like just kind of just damage to throw at you, you know. It's not, they don't have to commit very hard to the Crystal Maiden. I like Crystal Maiden against heroes that she can kind of just frostbite and run away from, and that's not really the case here.
It's like the Coddle and the CM together, like
10 seconds.
There's a lot of squish, like you said.
Yeah, and like obviously like the Puck's a little bit more maneuverable. If you got the negative arm against the Doombringer, then he's not as tanky either. So what is this 5th pick from TNC that's meant to bring all this together? Like I was thinking like, maybe the Bristleback is like their choice to be tanky, but it also feels like Alliance have a lot of answers to him too.
Yeah, you can kind of just throw up these tanky heroes in the fight, right, with the Brewmaster. As of now, TNC has the Doom like they did last game in terms of the Centaur, so I'm going to look a lot to see whether or not the Doom has a good start, because the big thing I emphasize is they have a way to deal with Puck's offensive nature, but they don't have a way to kill this Puck. So if the Puck gets off to a good start in the mid lane, maybe the squishiness factor for TNC won't be nearly as crippling as it was last game. Just because she'll be able to split push so freely. Like the Tusk and Svenge both have dodgeable stuns. I mean, I think until like SF Sheepstick, they don't really have a way to deal with this. Most carries don't build to deal with Puck. I can't really think of very many carries that actually kill Puck. Both teams have a lot of team fight though. A lot of save coming from Alliance, a lot of AoE from TNC with the Coddle ultimate, the Puck ultimate. So I think it's going to be a lot about who gets the jump on the other team.
They banned the TB. That would have been a nice big one position for TNC. You want to wait to see someone like a Weaver, like from Alliance, like CM and Keeper of the Light would just get absolutely destroyed as long as you could avoid Doom.
Maybe they'll go for the Naga Siren on TNC. I think any illusion hero seems nice. They have a lot of single target physical damage on the side of Alliance. You do have to be careful though, because the Brewmaster can clear out the illusions. Kind of seems like Alliance has a lot of the boxes checked in terms of what counters their lineup, but
Alchemist.
Yeah, they do go for the Naga. Okay, I like that pick. I think you need some illusion high armor hero against Tusk Venge. Like the 2 supports alone only do physical. So it's, I mean, yeah, they have like their minor nukes with the Venge stun and all that, but for the most part, when you're thinking of Venge Tusk, you're really afraid of how much physical damage that whole lineup is representing. And as you said, you have the minus armor from SF. So with that in mind, they have kind of deny picked the Void with the Naga Siren, one of Nico Baby's favorites. What do they go back for? This is a pretty scary lineup to fight into for TNC on the side of Alliance. I would like a low cooldown, kind of keep the pace up carry hero for them here. Running out of time.
Yeah, only 10 seconds for that last one position hero. And it's a DK.
Okay, we saw this earlier. Was it from Alliance? It was from Alliance, right? They ran the Nico Baby DK against the Puck. Just in game in general, it just isn't afraid of the Puck at all. I will say against like Doom, CM, a lot of this magic damage and like overall long duration stuns, I don't like it as much, but they actually make it a Nico Baby SF. So are they going to like tri-lane the SF with the Tusk Venge? I mean, any hero with Tusk Venge is kind of scary in a tri-lane, right? That's just so much damage.
And then like KP and 33 just duke it out as the Doom and the Brew.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want the DK against the Puck in lane for the matchup. It's just super good. Puck relies on kind of constantly harassing you. DK doesn't really care. Can kind of out CS you with the Breathe Fire damage reduction. Gives them this like tempo setter in terms of tower pushing.
Is it still doable that like when you've got like Keeper of the Light as well as Tim's, like the CM and the Coddle together, like can they force out a tri-lane themselves? Like if you get enough blasts off, like
it sounds like the harass battle goes in favor of TNC, right?
Yeah,
but the kill potential goes for Alliance. So it comes down to, I think, whether or not they can close the gap on Alliance and get the kills.
How many blasts you can connect, who's got the vision. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
This like early game setup, the minute and a half that comes before the game starts, I think is going to be really important. Like you said, for the ward setup for the lanes, scouting out the opponent lanes. I have to assume, based on the fact, I don't think I've seen Nico Baby play mid yet, so I have to assume it is a side lane SF, which I have not seen at all. Really no idea, you know, what the play is.
I think they're just trying to protect the KDA, the stats of Limp.
There you
just
go.
like play DK on the safe lane, just max up your Dragon Blood. I don't want you dying at all. Like that's all it is. We're just statting Alliance now.
Yeah, what is the, you know, we have to hope that they still plan to have Nico Baby on the wing condition on this SF. DK kind of represents more of a space maker this game. Probably does scale pretty well against the Naga Siren too. Naga Siren all physical damage as well. And the DK is pretty tanky against that. Honestly, other than Doombringer alone, they don't really have a way to kill this DK. And they have a lot of ways to peel the DK away from the team once he gets bench swap, the tough snowball, as we said. I like both drafts this game. I think it's going to come down a lot to teamfight execution, and those are always the fun games to watch. I only hope there's not this stalemate kind of game where both teams don't really want to fight the other team.
No, you're not going to get that. You see TNC already starting off exact same way as I was talking about it when you get KP on a Doombringer. You send him to the safe lane, you then run an aggro tri lane, and they're putting Naga, CM up towards the top lane. Cotter will move around, Puck will play the mid, and that means like Alliance also know what's going to happen. They're running their dual lane. They're already sending 33 and Fada, the Brewmaster and VS to the off lane from the very, very beginning.
And they are 100% committed to this SF side lane.
It's almost like the classic mech. It's like you've got Buckler on Fada, and you've got Headdress over on the Brewmaster for the dual off lane.
Wait, Alliance has 2 headdresses right now. The Tusk has one as well as the Brewmaster. So I guess they might start with the Venge in the Brewmaster's lane and then rotate him top, something like that.
Limp is taking the DK to the mid.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they're going to leave the SF Tusk alone. Maybe there's something I'm missing where SF Tusk specifically, because of the tag team, is like really good, but I don't know, man. The SF does not stand out to me as a safe lane hero. Maybe against Doom it's good, but then TNC is looking to do the aggro tri lane, like you said.
Unless they need to have the SF there in order to deal with the aggro tri lane of TNC. Like,
is that how you deal with it?
Does DK add anywhere near enough pressure if you put him on the safe lane to...
Yeah, I don't think that's an option. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, then you're still allowing a Doombringer to get like easy levels in the bottom lane. Like, it's the mistake that I think everyone makes against TNC. It's like, oh man, we need to be able to focus on their cause. We need to ensure like that Armel, like Gabby does not have a good game. But then KP comes in and is like, hey guys, remember I'm a real player too. And then he does something big and a farmed up Doombringer.
I will say, I think it's a big deal that these supports are buying bucklers for their offlaners that they're playing with, or even if they're tri-laning, either way, it's really good. Brewmaster and Doom, both pretty low armor offlaners, especially the Doom with 0. But either way, if you're in the tri-lane, the buckler is really value. If you're with your offlaner, it's really value. So I like the early bucklers picked up by the Coddle as well as the...
Yeah, March is already headed north. So they are going to run that full aggro tri-lane from TNC. This is going to be a hard lane for Doombringer, but if they get enough pressure from the TNC lineup, I don't know if there'll be a choice for Fada. He'll probably have to go top lane.
30 seconds.
Limp always checks for this ward in the mid lane. He always walks up to that mid lane tower and sees if the tower hits him. You can still do that this patch, so he's always been doing that. And this time he's actually cutting the trees. I wonder what that's for. It's always interesting when you see these players do these little things. Like, why did he walk up and cut 4 trees?
Well, would it like stop the CM from hanging behind one and attacking? Like, the CM's not going to be ganking you in mid.
There's almost always a reason why they do it. So instead of saying like, they're just doing it, I always try to figure out why. We'll maybe see it as it plays out.
Well, so both top bounty runes to go the way of TNC, and both the bottom ones to go the way of Alliance. This is what happens when you have a solo hero for the Radiant on bottom. And Alliance is still switching up their lanes too. So you see Nico, he's making the walk through mid lane. In fact, he's coming down with Limp. Like, I almost feel like it's almost a pub game. No, I'm mid. No, I'm mid.
I think he's going to willingly give him the mid lane. They wanted the SF against Doom. I have to imagine that's what the reason for the SF pick was.
Do they rotate down now? Like, so it looks like Tim's and March will have to try and intercept 33, who's coming for the creep wave, and they're already in position for this. So 33 realizes he is not getting this creep wave. It would have been too much slow. There's even level 1 blinding light, so they get a little bit more damage time into him. And he's going to consume the mangoes to get another blast. Can you, no, he had blind light on cooldown for too long. Try and push him into the pit.
Yeah, so far
33
favoring
cops,
TNC, I think, a bit.
33 cops a hell of a lot of damage on this run. So Hanskin's the man who has to take the experience in the lane. And Fada has already TP'd to the top lane too. And you see Hanskin, he TP'd to the bottom lane. So movement from Tusk to join Nico Baby against KP.
Yeah, they want the Venge Brew and they want the Tusk SF. I think that seems to be clear. They want the melee range combo in both lanes.
There's Marsh's TP. So we're rotating once again as KP will work with Marsh just to force Hanskin out of the lane.
Already level 2 on Doom. Big deal for that. Doom's a hero that every level in the early game is a huge power spike for him.
I don't know if that was really worth it, Armel. he orbed into mid lane, connected on Limp as well as the range creep. But in return, he had no way to escape from Limp's attack. He cancelled like maybe a fraction, like half a second of the remainder of his salve. But, well, he'll take it.
Yeah, DK just doesn't care about Puck's harass in general, and as the game goes on, you do have a nearly instant stun against the Puck. Just overall, a really nice game and lane counter to the Puck. Already beating him by about 4 CS right now.
If they even see the regeneration rune, Armel's going to orb and jaunt. Oh, Breathe Fire will cancel that.
Yeah, no points in phase shift to dodge. Maxing out those nukes in order to secure the CS, but still struggling a bit. Already down by 4.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The lane only really gets better for DK as he gets more points in Dragon Blood. Already up to 2 points. The regen's just too much for Puck to harass through. SF already up to 12 souls in the bottom lane, so that's good for him. I just haven't seen this side lane SF. I'm more curious to see like what the role in the game is. Like, is he your carry? Is he going to be spending a lot of time farming? Is he going to be fighting with his team? What's the play here?
How to make the 3. Oh man, March caught inside the Shard's Blind Light, try and buy a little bit more extra space. Hanskin's keeping the pressure on, but now it's KP's turn, and they just keep with the Chakram. KP on top of Hanskin. Does not, however, have its other clap up fast enough.
Such a good creep to get early, the Thunderclap creep on the Doom. The attack speed's nice. He did take the second point in Devour, I think, to get it. I didn't notice what his reaction was, but when I've played Doom, I level up the Devour if I see a good creep at the big camp. And the 50 mana for 150 damage is very effective, cost-effective nuke for Doom.
Armel is living life on the edge in this mid lane. That's a level 2 Breathe Fire. It's 170 damage. He's got 225 HP.
I do like the mid lane now. It's more of a 1v1 than in the past. You've used to see some roaming from the 4s and the 5s, but right now, for the most part, in the first 5 minutes, there's just too much to do in the side lanes. Top lane might be in some trouble.
Yeah,
Tim's.
CM. Fada looking for the first blood.
Yeah, he died to the Brewmaster W. He's been going this Cinder Brew build, which is quite interesting.
Or Fada actually set him up for the perfect last tick too.
Oh, I didn't realize it's any spell damage now. That's why they do the Venge plus Brew, because you pretty much always get spell damage off with the Wave of Terror. That's cost effective. Okay, I like that. Now that I see that, I hadn't read the Cinder Brew ability recently.
Are you actually believing a tooltip inside of Dota?
It seemed to work there, you know. He did die to the Cinder Brew damage.
Yeah, here we go again for Gabby. He'll be able to retreat back out again, had enough armor to survive.
He's maxing out the Cinder Brew.
Bottom lane KP, he's underneath the tier 1 tower, close the distance over on Nico. He's already burned 2 of the Razors. KP needs to stay close, but here we go again with a snowball forward. KP in the trees has TP available. Scorched Earth will give him the movement speed, however, but underneath the tower, he just tries to outrun with a quick salve. One more extra raise, he'll take the creep wave with him. There seems to be a wasted time for Alliance now. Snowball's off cooldown, so KP can't just TP out, but he doesn't care. His regen is more than enough.
He's on a journey. I always call this the journey, you know? You're just migrating from one lane to the other as the creeps as well as the support chase you.
You're leaving me out to get like a double creep wave on the bottom lane later on.
And Coddle has no problem with that, and Doom ends up coming back because of the Scorched Earth we saw last game. Absolutely no problem with the double wave. Any offlaners that like the double wave seem to be better this patch.
Now they're moving up to the top lane. Gabby locked in by 3 heroes. The snowball bring Fada in nice and close. Quick mango consumption, and Gabby losing life quickly. The Doombringer already TP to the bottom lane, so he was not involved with this at all. But Hanskin making that rotation, the chase after the Doombringer, really worth it.
One thing I like about this last pick DK is something I mentioned in the draft for Alliance is they had no way to deal with the Puck in the mid game, and now they do. So it's really nice that they're able to just put their 2 supports, not really focused on killing this Puck, kind of leaving mid to do their own thing, and they're able to group up in these side lanes, and they just have so much damage between the Wave of Terror as well as the Tusk tag team.
More KP have some real hard times getting some DPS, like some CS in the bottom lane. Nico's sitting at 96 damage at the moment.
Yeah, he's chilling, man. Just the classic offlane solo SF.
Let's make it a classic 100 now, 60 plus 40.
There you go.
Like, against the Doombringer, it's 80, but it's still difficult. He gets too close, he just gets hit by all the razors. Gabby, magic missile stun gets thrown out. Tuskar's going to be there. Fada loses his courier. There goes his boots. And Hanskin trying to stay on top of Gabby. Very difficult to do, however. Tim's would be an easier one. Shah block, make him run a little higher, but Tim's goes back to his own vision. So he feels safer to play this.
Seeing so many people TP back to base is so interesting, because for so long we've had the double shrine where people just pretty much never have to return to base. And already seeing this tournament, how many supports just instantly TP back to base rather than doing anything else, because there's just no other option to get your health and mana back. Hit that reset button, come back on the map, be as effective as soon as possible. And Nico Baby has to be a little bit worried once KP gets 6 in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Oh, Mango Tree. Whew.
Got it.
How many times I've seen so many people just be caught out of position because they have to go back for an item. It's so funny whenever it happens. They're like, oh crap, an item, and then they just walk out of position and die.
It's like, wait, let me put that on a shrine. Oh, wait, there's no shrine on bottom. It's fine. I'll put it in my safety area instead. Limp. And he really want to probably push a little bit more damage to the tier 1 tower in mid lane, but you've seen Tim's like Dragon Form gets triggered, he comes over, Armel's nuking down the creep wave, setting up the stacks as well over on the side, any kind of flash farm for the puck to try and boost up this net worth. And right now, top 3 net worths do belong to TNC.
Yeah, first item, Helm of the Dominator on 33. I've been curious about this because there's been certain games where I think it's really good on some heroes, but then you're against heroes that just easily kill your Dom creep. And it's a lot of gold. You have the Doom Devourer as well as the Crystal Maiden Frostbite, and kind of peculiar to me that he would rush this item in a game where 2 of the enemy heroes can just gobble up the creep pretty easily. Maybe they're looking to take Roche. I'm not 100% sure what the point of the early Helm Dom is here.
Yeah, Doom was always that old counter. Like, it's like, hey, you picked up a Chen, great. I'm going to get a hand of Myas, I'm going to get devoured. Yep, and we're done.
Is under attack.
I think 33 wants a lot of extra help to go after Gabby. But the Observer Ward on the hillside scouts out Nico Baby's rotation to the top lane. The Naga just leaves the illusions behind to do the farming. But that means on bottom lane, you've got Tuskar and VS now playing the lane against KP, who feels very uncertain.
That kind of makes sense, right? You put your supports in the Doom's lane so that if he wants to get a Doom off, he either has to rotate or he's just dooming a support. So Nico Baby making a very natural rotation. I was kind of curious what he was going to do once the Doom hits 6, and he just says, I'm out of here. See you later. You can have the Doom supports.
Limp's movement got scattered up by the Observer Ward. Fada thought he found it. He dropped a sentry and then was only able to find another sentry ward, but TNC, they know what's down here, and KP, like, he wants to battle against Limp. He wants to be able to get this Doom off and have some extra help to finish the job now. Magic Missile with Wave of Terror, Doom underneath the tower. You got the Dominator Creep charging his way in too, so quickly under the tower as more support going to arrive. Creep trying to block its way through, but the phase boost allows KP to run, but March won't be so lucky. But the Bruce Split comes out, the stun flies forward, the follow-up stun that's now available, so KP getting chased out, 4 points up in the scorcher. He's got stick charges available, but cannot get them off. Just this chain stunning from Alliance.
That's sick micro, man. He's got the 3 pandas and the Centaur. The Centaur Stomp recently in this, I think the first patch of 7.23 got reduced to 12-second cooldown. Already seeing the impact of that lower cooldown. Nico Baby might be having some trouble in the top lane.
Yeah, you get the jelly, but nothing royal will save you from this. Good raises onto Tim's, but silenced up. He's looking for the last ones, but the range difference was not quite right. Snowball forward. Nico, he'll actually his Kanskin, who gets the kill over on Tim's. Mel wants to finish the job. He can finally do it, but does he lose his life for this as well? You got phase shift available. The shards fly forward. Gabby wants to help out. No song of the siren. He goes for a quick in for the mirror. Is there a control? There's no snare. He went for a 4-0-4 build on the Naga Siren.
That was a sick play by the puck overall just to get out of that by John.
They want more. Over towards the Tuskar. Jaunts his way forward. There's Hanskin. Well, the Wave of Terror will be able to connect, but Tuskar into the tree lines. KP has the movement speed plus the burn damage, and Gabby's not done yet. Chasing Fada back behind the tier 2 tower, maybe. If this continues the chase going down, he's got his illusions up once again.
This is what I worried about with the puck. Looks like he's just going to kill Fada in the tower? No.
But Tim's will come in as well. Keeper of the Light will die as well. Tim's letting it go onto the tier 2 tower, but now Hanskin's done his own rotation in. KP thinking about helping out, but there's not much he can do. Limp TP's in as well. And maybe they think about disengaging 33. No split available, but he'll go after Gabby. KP still has Doom up. Is there any TP support that can come to join this? Coddle's TPing towards the mid lane instead, as KP tries to block him up. Snowballs, you pick up 33 on the way through, and we're all just jumping in. And now the Dragon's Dust on over on the Doombringer. They'll drop KP.
That's why I love Tusk so much against Doom. That right there. You saw that Doom. Does not look very tanky right there. Just gets splattered by that tag team damage.
And Limp just tanks the tower. So they'll get both of the outposts in for Alliance. A lot of damage into this tier 1 tower on top lane. Let's try and restrict the map area of TNC.
Alliance kind of feels like they're just out-rotating TNC here. Just outmaneuvering them on the map. The puck was playing on low HP the whole time and managed to live, but...
They want to fight again. Smoke from Fada as well as 33. They're going to come in behind this tier 1 tower, snowball in. They start over on Tim's, but there's 2 supports ready to die. They know Tim's is already dead. Limp had that one in the bag, allowing 33 and Hanskin just to go after March before he can even reach the tier 2 tower.
So much damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Helmdom does naturally synergize with the Avenge because she gives all your heroes bonus stats, and then you give the bonus base damage with the Helm of the Dominator, so it does make sense a bit there. And you're seeing it just come into play. Maybe it's just the ability to have that extra bit of reach with your Brewmaster. You have the extra stun from the Centaur. Sometimes you get the attack speed creep. They're prioritizing the Centaur right now.
And TNC are going to have to get on top of their vision game. We were talking about at the very start during the draft. It's like, okay, so now that you've lost control of your top, the wards start coming down from Alliance, and if they have the vision, they know where to fight. Going to come out on top, but you still haven't seen the Naga Siren really have an influence. Like, she went for the point of Ensnare to try and battle underneath the tier 2 tower, then got the 10% mirror image damage, but there's still no Song of the Siren. There's still no reset for TNC. And KP wants something, triggering off the drums, Brewmaster straight into the split. Now with the Centaur stomp, this is just 33 microing to perfection. He'll need a little bit of extra help here, KP, and he's got it in the form of his supports. The puck sent up by the Cyclone. 33. 2 seconds left on the Brewlings. They're trying to stay with the Earth Brewlings, but one more send up. And Doom can't do jack.
He does get the Helm Dom creep, though, for the 200 gold. As we talked about, the fact that they have 2 ways to easily kill that creep.
Actually got him in the Ocean's Heart, too. Now, this makes a little... Actually, it doesn't make that much sense in the Doombringer. Like, he's still a fire boy.
Yeah.
But it's the river that runs through hell.
Exactly.
Oh, KP. Scorched Earth time. He needs extra life, needs extra swap out. Now it's him letting it go, combining with the Ignis. They're having a real hard time, Alliance, getting out of range. The denial, Hanskin. Oh, the Doom was out. So it's just a 1 for 0 as far as the trade goes. Armel looking for his own rotation, does not have Dream Coil available without the split from Brewmaster. Does not feel like he's got enough life to survive. Hit up by the Veil, push back for the Blinding Light, but now Limp with a Blink Dagger, jumping forward. Armel not ready for the stun, can phase shift and then blink his way up all the way to safety, able to join his way out to safety. There was not enough damage to find this kill. March doing the defense duty.
I really like the Blink Dagger pickup on Limp. It wasn't quite enough damage to kill the puck there, but without this Blink, you have no way to kill the puck. So having that threat on puck's really big, and overall, they do need him to be that play starter, because you have Brew as an offlaner, doesn't really start fights. He kind of just goes in, and then SF as a carry, definitely not the fight starter. He is doing this like Drums Yasha build on the SF, so he's looking to scale a bit. I can't imagine you scale that well against Naga Siren, so they must be planning to hit this like minus armor mid-game timing with the Venge, the Tusk physical damage, the SF passive. I have to imagine that's what they're looking to do on Alliance.
Yeah, but can they really do it? Like you talk about the Blink Dagger being nice for nice denial of the first. Is he actually going to deny up both the bounty runes on bottom? No, he won't. He's not saying the illusion over.
Got to get that big camp farm.
I don't think he also had time on the illusion to get it there.
Is under attack.
Oh, clumsy net for Nico, baby. Who's that going to go on? One of my favorite items in the new patch. Pretty broken sometimes.
Can you get it onto the Tusker? Use it the same way as the Pango?
I think the only problem with Tusk is you can't snowball after you clumsy net somebody. But you do lock them in with you in the arena of battle when you have your tag team up.
Well, that's a nicer one. Imp Claw up for the Doom. Top lane, silence over on Fada. Armel really trying to get involved in this one. Tims with a Frostbite will hold Fada in position.
Radiant structures are
And don't worry,
fortified.
he's still alive, even if it's in spirit.
Armel's so good on puck, man. He always pushes the limits, and since DK is the only real hero that threatens him, as long as he sees DK on the map, feels very safe doing whatever he wants in these little skirmishes with the supports.
And then just the advantage of puck to clean up the wave, take the tower. Now that allows him to afford his own blink dagger. Getting the Veil to begin with for the damage, and now he's got the extra maneuverability for the blink.
Curious to see what talent he takes. He's already level 13 on puck, but he's just maxing out all of his other skills. So will he take the cast range or the attack talent? Did they change the color of Essence Ring, or was that always green? I feel like it used to be blue. I feel like it used to be blue, you know? Am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong.
Oh yeah, I was like looking at that in the first games, and I was like, is there like a wrong hue on my monitor or something? And then I've seen it, that was like during the spectating, and now I'm seeing it here. I'm like, I guess they just made it green.
Well, it's the essence of intelligence. So what is the color of intelligence?
Blue.
Blue, right?
Yes.
So that makes more sense. If we're going with logic and they're going to do... They really want to get this kill with the Ignis protection. A nice dump from KP, making sure Hanskin's not getting involved. Fada also frostbitten on the edge of the Ignis. He can't move away. Now Tim's trying to let it go. He'll get some decent damage out, but it's still not enough. And in fact, Twobringer will fall too. This is the entire team. Gabby, he's holding the Song of the Siren. So if they're really feeling the control, they can get out. A swap from Fada. Nico, that ulti.
Zoning ulti.
Yeah, zoning. Yeah, space has definitely been created.
Yeah, that shards by Handskin, by the way, was sick. Divided the entire fight, allowed them to actually close the gap and get the kills on the CM and the...
He got the Doom creep. He got the, the Dom creep.
Philosopher's Stone. The Dream on any support hero. This Venge is 6-slotted, look at this. Got the Ironwood Tree, the Clumsy Net.
Negative 35 attack damage, don't care. Armel getting caught out, locked inside the shards. They try and push him back. The snowball's done. But Armel now going to try and orb away. He has to move in quickly, but now the razors. He moves towards the east. So Nico Baby misses the first one. Another quick phase shift. Needs a little bit of extra help. Tims is nearby, and then the phase and blink away. Armel! My God! Can this guy puck more often? Like, it's so beautiful to watch underneath the tier 1 tower. Now Tims is taking it for the team. The Blinding Light pushing the Lions back. They want to beat down this tower. 4 heroes together, they will be able to claim the tier 1 tower. And a snowball forward, catching March, looking for his own deep push with the Illuminate. Will not be enough. 33 will claim that one, but it feels like more and more time and space is being granted for Gabby. Already having his Manta style, got his casual broomstick handle as well. And he's very close to finishing up the diffuser blade.
The only issue I have with the Nagas mentioned the draft was that you have this Brewmaster clear illusion. I'm not sure if they're ever going to be able to fight into the Lions.
They're going to rush on time.
Yeah, maybe.
Roshan's not dead yet. He's low on life. Now Song of the Siren will do some decent work and he can get close enough. And they trigger it out. Roshan's going to the drink. Hold down. Roshan, he's stopping HP. He's going to bring him down. Gabby gets the Agency Mortal. Alliance. Cross napping into the 3 minutes of overcoming. Let's go. 10. Hit the side of the with the room. Gabby, just going to fire down. I'm back here for another one. But he needs right on top of Roshan. Alliance, they're doing the best they can to fight him. I feel like TNC are getting so much space created out of all of this. Gabby is still not dead yet. They're doing the best they can. Now they'll break him down. The buybacks came in, and March will be brought down. Gabby went his way outside this pit. 3 heroes there. Armel will try and deliver this exit strategy with a 3-man silence and the Assair. They keep Brewmaster control. Fada's coming over. His Wave of Terror will get some revealed. Gabby getting a little bit of a shrine here, and the shards, they'll block him in. Armel comes back in once more. The ensnared net will be there. Armel able to orb jump himself away to safety. The 33 gets the double kill. You do deny, at least, the Roshan with the Aegis. But that's all you really deny.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like best case scenario for TNC, and after everything's said and done, yeah, they forced the buyback on Hanskin, but I don't think they're too happy with that result. Losing the Naga is what the Aegis as well as the actual life and dying. The DK didn't die there working on his Radiance. Overall.
They'll still get double bounty runes on the bottom. This was able to be grabbed up by Armel. He also was able to steal 2 mangoes, so we have a mango thief.
Value.
Value, total value.
Net worth swing approximately 200, you know, somewhere in there.
Hey, there's another 3 mangoes just sitting in the ground. There's a lot of wasted net worth in this patch. Well, quick phase shift, dodges one of the razors, and we'll see how the escape works. Blinks up, the shards will be able to find him, but then he jauns up even further.
He did have to blink up because you have to blink in the direction you're facing if you want to blink there. So smart by Armel.
mopped up the creep wave, and then he'll just jaunt himself away. Another quick blink, and he'll do it. He'll do the TP out there. Snowball, close. Not close enough, and that's level 1 Dagon is the choice from the puck. And he did go for the phase shift attack plus the lamp.
Yeah, I don't know how reliable it is to burst these Alliance heroes. You have 3 Strength heroes and an SF who is building pretty tanky. Already up to 1,700 health. And they have the Pipe Aura as well from the Brewmaster. So I can respect what he needs to do in this game as the puck, but it is a bit concerning that he's going for this like burst damage build when it seems rough to burst damage, or burst down the Alliance heroes.
They need something. Smoke from Alliance. Can't keep their creep waves alive long enough to get any information, and the Naga Illusions are farming the jungle, so it's quite safe. The smoke doesn't break, they drop their Observer and Sentry, so at least there's some information. Observer, Sentry, Sentries. Any information Alliance can get to fight, they come in close, and instantly the smoke breaks. It's Tims who's the one to do it, back underneath his own Observer Sentry, and then the 3-man coil, 3-man silence, and Tims from the tree line. They just hold him with the Ignis. It's double layering of AoE control. Fada can't get back out of this one. All he can do is die. That's his escape mechanism.
You move like a blue heart.
The classic walk up the hill and feed strat coming off from Alliance.
Naga.
Will they catch him?
Gabby's got the haste rune. He had the movement speed. Everyone else is coming over. Puck will be here too. Quick all forward, but no! There was no damage, there's no control. Now you'll get your ensnare. They decide to turn around with Limp. You've got an extra control Centaur coming in from the side. Buyback comes in from the Vengeful Spirit. Brewmaster split too. They want the extra control with no song on the siren from Gabby. There isn't that extra hit they've got, but they've got the Doom. Available from KP. They put it over on Limp. The stun control, however, it's all focused towards Gabby. A quick swap up. Gets Limp back out to safety. Gabby trying to walk off all the damage for Blinding Light. They'll create a little bit extra space. Brewmaster sends him up the Cyclones, so Nico can finish the job with a quick little raise. So 2 heroes to drop from TNC. They really did force the issue. And it may not be done just yet. Alliance chasing KP. Try and juke out as much as he possibly can. Does not have a TP scroll available and now gets scouted out. Quick Cinder Brew with a follow-up stun. Dream Coil in from Armel, able to get a double stun out. And KP will get his own return stun with the Centaur hit. The Dream Coil will not snap on Fada as well as 33. As they swap once again, Armel. They need more help, but they don't have it. It's Alliance who bring the extra help in the form of the SF. Another quick jump in with silence, but yeah. Armel, all they can do is chip on the sides, but cannot save KP. And now they'll lose their shrine, but it's still a 1-for-1. That belongs to TNC.
Venge just represents so much damage, man. The primary stats, the Wave of Terror, minus armor. What a broken hero, man. Apparently she's still at like a 57% win rate after all the nerfs in like the highest tier of Dota. It just overall, the hero seems to do too much. And for whatever reason, these like tanky heroes like Doom, they just don't look tanky in front of Avenge. And the one problem I have, as I said, going late game for the TNC lineup is you saw the Naga Siren just split at the start of that fight with the mirror image, and Brew just instantly killed all of her illusions with the purge, AoE purge from the ultimate on the Storm Panda. Top lane though, Tusk does go down.
Snowball in time.
Yeah, you can't snowball out of those roots, so they do have a lot of roots for this Tusk. I'm kind of surprised he's not itemizing a blink, just because I feel like he might need to blink from out of vision.
Armel's got to get the hell out of here. That's a blink stun ready for... But instead they swap in Tims. That's not exactly the target they were hoping for, and they know the Fada stun is pretty useless against Puck as long as phase shift is up. But this Naga's getting so much space still across the map. Like, building in towards the heart is definitely taking some time. SF is the #1 network in the field.
I want to be proved wrong because I always like to learn in Dota, but I just can't imagine this Naga Siren ever being able to fight, because I think the Brewmaster's thing does like 5,000 damage once you include the amp from illusions, like how much more they take. So unless the Naga has 5,000 health or more, her illusions will just get one-shotted in all the fights. So even though she's getting this farm, I'm just concerned as long as Brewmaster's not getting doomed before he splits, that she'll have a hard time meaningfully contributing to these team fights.
But she contributes to the map. Like, it also feels like the TNC split push. It doesn't come in the hands of Tims like it did in the last game, but it does this Naga. These illusions are forever forcing out the lanes, and you see Alliance. Like, Alliance, like, they didn't grab or contest any of the bounty runes. There's still one that's alive in the top river. They've lost both the shrines.
The puck could be the X factor here.
Yeah.
The split push, as you're saying, like between the Naga Siren and the puck, you have this incredibly survivable puck, and then you have just all the lanes being shoved by Naga Siren as well. So that could be just the play for TNC. If they're never able to get the fight they want on the side of Alliance, who built all these team fight group up items, that's definitely a way for TNC to easily scale well into this late game.
All right, so who wants the Greater Fairy Fire?
It's such a weird item. It seems so good on paper. It gives damage, like a burst heal, but then when you have it, it just seems underwhelming.
All right, we were talking about this before as well. Like, there's no way to actually destroy neutral items. What happens once you actually consume the entire Fairy Fire? Do you get another item that starts to drop at that point?
I don't think so. I think it's counted as one of the three, but that is a good question, actually. I think the game registers how many have been dropped once they drop. I think that's how it does it, because whenever they drop, it's like 2 out of 3.
But that seems like a little unfair for a team that then gets the Greater Fairy Fire. And then it's like, well, now we've only got 2 items because this has 3 charges only.
Yeah, that's true. It is one of the few items that expired. The Elixir used to work like that, but obviously that got removed. I think they knew that they were. I think they were going to remove shrines, and like they knew that, so they're like, okay, Elixir would be way too good if one team had it and the other team didn't.
This is cheeky for much. Just the Glimmer Cape. Never-ending push on the side. Doombringer, BKB's been triggered from him. He'll turn around, just stunning over on Fada. Support's coming in from TNC. 4 heroes together, ready to fight. They're all looking for Roshan. He will respawn in a minute, but it's because he could have potentially spawned already.
Yeah, Doom has no armor items, man. He has the BKB, but sitting at 10 armor when he's near the buckler, that is not what you're looking for against the Venge SF. When SF was near him, he was taking basically pure damage through BKB. And DK is about to get this Radiance, which makes it even harder for the Naga Siren to carry. I will say I really think the puck has to be the X factor this game. Naga will have impact because she's so farmed, but I think somebody else has to be able to deal out like the necessary damage to bring down these Alliance heroes.
Man, they even got some of the damage. Like there's one courier which is now currently walking around with Imp Claw as well as the Ocean Heart back at base. They get a repair kit available too. There's some extra damage being just left.
Quickening Charm. Anybody? Nobody? Handskin? There's just a quickening charm there.
Yeah. All the couriers are being sent back as well. They're not even coming for this. 9 HP regen. You'll take that.
Yeah, that seems like value.
Oh.
Is he going to see it?
I don't know. Did anyone know? Yeah.
Okay, they see it.
Ping, 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 ping.
It's amazing how many things can distract you in Dota where you're not even noticing. And I think the cooldowns on Tusk seems really good, actually.
Oh. There is the sound. There's like that boom, boom, boom.
Okay, he handed it to 33, so they gave him the quickening charm. Seems like a relatively underwhelming item, but I think cooldown reduction in general is pretty insanely powerful. The Prism item is insane. That's tier 4, I think, right? It starts spawning in like 35 or 40 minutes. The 20% cooldown reduction.
Naga's trying to get this last hit in the tower. Won't happen. 33 actually denies it with his Conquered Centaur. They actually switched the name of that around because he's been dominated. So the Centaur really has been conquered. He doesn't conquer anything anymore.
That makes sense. Are you the one that talks to them about these things and make sure they, keep the lore in line? Or?
Nah, no one talks to me about shit.
Okay.
That's if they listened to me, techies wouldn't have got the crap.
Techies would still have some way to scale into the late game. Rip techies.
No, he's dead. He's dead. I was always one of his biggest advocates, but that hero is trash now. Absolute trash.
So many neutral items are just being backpacked this game. I think the biggest beneficiary of neutral items this game is the Venge. He's just got all the items now.
Well, Alliance will quickly do Roshan. Song of the Sirens up. We could go for a repeat. The Illusions need to have a look around, but they're a little late this time around TNC. Smoked up, but Roshan is already dead. Aegis and Cheese both in the hands of the Shadow Fiend. And they find the Naga Siren, Vengeful Spirit, the jump forward. Gabby, he's in a hell of a lot of trouble. He even can disengage from this. The fear, the control, the Ignis can't do jack, but now maybe with the Crystal Nova as well as the hold in from the Dream Coil, they're forced to fight here. Buybacks are coming in. A quick orb away to safety to the other side of the river. No, Puck will stay on his side. Alliance still uncertain they want to take the fight. No, they are certain. A blink forward with the snowball. Huskin 33 brought in. Another quick stomp forward. They're taking so much damage, but the sustain just keeps going. Nico finds the kill into Doom and the Shard Block. Absolutely perfect. The log hit by the Olympus. Song of the Siren. Everybody sleep. And we're done.
Oh, they still chasing.
Oh, wait. No, they can go to the tower. They're actually so close. They're underneath the tier 2 tower. And he cannot afford to die once again. as a dieback, 100 seconds on the sideline. This has escalated so quickly. TNC thought they were disengaging.